This is handling user input in Python. This will be a quick screencast that will demonstrate how to get input from the user in a command line Python script. The idea being that the user can type in some information, you can assign that information to a variable, and then use that information in various ways in your script. Really straightforward. We're going to be using the raw input function as we described in the text. This will just give you a visual sense as to how to do it, and I'll show you how to use prompts as well too. So here's how this works. The way to do user input in Python is to use the raw input function. Raw input returns the value that the user typed in at the keyboard and assigns it to a variable. So we're going to say name, and we will say raw input. There's an underscore there. Then what we're going to do from here is we'll interpolate this into another template string, just like we've seen so many times in this course. And I'll just say hello, and then I'll use a numbered field because this is the only value that's going to be put in here. You can see where we're going with this, right? You type in your name, Steve, Joe, Betty, whatever, and I'm going to say hello Betty, hello Steve, hello Joe. Okay. The final line of code for this will be print template dot format, and we pass in the name, and the name will be whatever it is that the user typed in. Okay. Save this, go over here, and I'll say python input.py. Okay. So what's going on at this point? The script is running, but I don't see anything. I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do at this point. What's happening at this point is that Python is sitting around waiting for you to type something in, right? So I'll type in Betty. Okay, it takes the value that I typed in, interpolates it into the template string, and then prints the output, hello Betty. So it did what I asked it to, but it can use a little refinement, right? I don't know, unless I'm the author of this script, what I'm supposed to type in at this point. And so raw input has one more thing that you can do to make it a little bit more user-friendly, which is you can put in as a parameter a prompt. And you can see I've typed this in and with a colon at the end and a little space so that there's a little space between the prompt and the cursor that the user is going to type in. And this will tell the user what is expected of them, and this will make it a lot more straightforward. And let's see how this works. We'll go back and say python input.py, and now it says, please enter your name. Oh, okay, my name is Bob. And it says hello Bob. So that's pretty straightforward. Now there is one other little thing that you'll want to watch out for, and this is in the text, is that raw input always returns a string, which means if you want to do some math on the value that is returned by raw input, you will have to cast it using the int function or the float function, depending on what you're expecting, that sort of thing. One other caveat that I'll note about this as well too is that you'll want to do some validation and possibly also some error handling of raw input. We'll talk about error handling later in the course, so I'm not going to sort of go down that path at this point. For the place where you're at the course right now, just assume that users will type in information that is of the correct data type, that won't be unexpected, that sort of thing. In other words, we're not going to worry too much about validation of input or error handling at this stage, but we will get to it later in the course, and you will see how you can use various tactics to ensure that the data that the user is of the correct type, the data that the user enters is of the correct type, a numeric type when you expect a numeric type, or a string when you expect a string, or that the data falls within certain boundaries, or is not a certain kind of data, that sort of thing as well too. But this kind of covers it for now.